Hey everyone, welcome to episode 14 of the Nerd Herder Show from Over a Beer. I'm Rich.
I'm Nick.
And today we are drinking the 12 Dogs of Christmas Ale.
Woof woof.
This is from Thirsty Dog Brewing Company. Ale brewed with honey and spices. Got a picture of a truck here with a old bed like open up and a bunch of dogs hanging out.
8.3%.
Should be a strong one.
Christmas ale. Christmas is over. Merry Christmas. Hope it was good if you celebrate. If not,
Cheers.
Shalom or whatever. You can detect some honey.
Yeah.
Some spices. Random spices.
The honey and spices are there.
Best served at 43 to 49 degrees. I think. Yeah, that's 48. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are over a beer, so we do have our discussions over a beer.
Yep.
And that will be the beer for today. And what are we going to do today?
So today's going to be our news segment. If you're just joining us each week, we alternate on who presents our news. They pick their top five news stories. The other does not know what they've picked. This is Nick's week to do it. So what do you got? What are our top 5 news stories?
Well, we thought we were done talking about Star Wars, but it turns out we're not.
Oh.
And we won't be probably for a long time.
The name is from StarArs. The name of our show is from Star Wars. So if you expect us to actually ever be done talking about Star Wars,
we're never going to be done. So we won't spoil anything about the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and see it. We liked it quite a bit. But there was a couple of Star Wars things we'll fold it into one story. First, which is Star Wars lit the box office on fire.
Yep.
So in its opening weekend, it not just broke the record for all-time domestic opening weekend, it shattered it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it did. Avengers had set the mark a few years ago, first movie to go over 200 million. And then Jurassic World this year surpassed it. I think Avengers was like 202, 203. Jurassic World set the record at 208, and it was like, how can a movie make that much? Well, the answer is a movie can make that much, and it's called Star Wars Force Awakens. 200 and what did it end up being? 47 million when all was said and done. It was 238, and then the actuals came in 247, and then so it set the record for opening weekend, biggest Friday. The biggest December launch before that had been 88 or 91 million.
Okay.
So it destroyed that. Biggest, I think, Sunday ever, and now, as of when we're recording this, we know that it also had the biggest Monday of all time at 40 million. And worldwide, it's already over 600 million in 4 days of release. So,
it's a big movie.
I don't think we're surprised it made a lot of money.
No.
I think you have to be kind of surprised that it almost made 250 million in 3 days. That seemed like something that was impossible. But do you think now that this can finally be the movie to knock Avatar off of its stupid throne?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
What is it?
Avatar is it's like 700 million domestic, almost 3 billion worldwide, and its domestic record is over 100 million more than the second place.
I can see it getting there.
I really hope so.
Because, this weekend, it broke a lot of records, and a lot of the people going to see it were people seeing it for the second time, a third time. We've both already seen it twice.
Multiple times. Probably going to see it
planning
more.
To see it again. And then there's a lot of people I've talked to who are like, well, I'm going to avoid the crowds. I'm going to go Christmas weekend. I'm going to go in a couple weeks. So this is going to have legs, and this is going to go for a long time.
I think we both know that even said that I really want to see it, but I'm waiting till Christmas Day with my family.
Yeah.
That just seems like, if it plays out just from people we've talked to, it's going to be a massive day for it again. I'm sure it was as you're watching this now. It's probably... Yeah. I hadn't even thought about it, but when a movie makes $250 million in its opening weekend, what is its second weekend? Because even a 50% drop, a 65% drop is still a massive weekend. It will be one of the biggest weekends of all time, and it's, staggering numbers. But I think it shows that Star Wars is truly back. People are excited about it. Everyone was excited about it. And the movie was great. They have those like exit polls where they poll people in certain areas. What did you think of the movie? And I think it was like 90% of people rated it like an A+ or something.
Nice.
Women loved it. Women were rating it higher than men even or something. And then I think there was some stat opening weekend on Twitter, only 1% of tweets about The Force Awakens were negative.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, we live in a world where people complain about everything.
Yeah.
Right, so that's pretty impressive. So the movie is doing amazing. One other thing that was a story with Force Awakens this recently was the Broadcast Critics Association holds the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
So this is like the Oscars in a way, but as voted by registered film critics in the Broadcast Critics Association or whatever. They had come up with their awards before the deadline, or Star Wars came out after the deadline for them to nominate films. And so once it came out and it got good reviews, apparently they released a poll to their members asking whether or not they should add The Force Awakens as an 11th Best Picture contender. And apparently it passed, and it has been added as an 11th contender. And some critics aren't happy about this. They think that, you know, for whatever reason, because it wasn't screened to them beforehand, or I don't know, or they just feel like it was a disgenuine addition, like they only added it to get ratings for the televised show.
That was one of the things that I had read about this story, was like they were, like, well, they're only doing it to get the ratings and yada yada yada. And I'm wondering, I'd be curious to, I probably won't release it, but see the voting numbers on getting it put up there. You know, if they're just like, well, we put a poll out, it didn't get it, but we're just going to do it anyway.
I mean, it's possible. If they don't release the numbers to them, if they don't show a breakdown of who voted for what, and they won't do that, it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Then, you know, it's possible, but the thing is, this movie has a 95% Rotten Tomatoes. Not that that's the best way to measure a film. Like we said, people seem to love it. There's so many well-respected critics loved it. And we also live in a world where in 2009, at the Oscars, Avatar was up for Best Picture. Okay?
Yeah.
If Avatar can be up for Best Picture, The Force Awakens can be up for Best Picture.
Absolutely.
I would not find it hard to imagine that more than half of the film critics in the world thought that, yes, in the hype of this weekend, of the past weekend that it came out, that it was good enough.
Yeah.
Whether or not, I mean, it might not win, but just to be on that list of 11 films, sure, I believe it.
Yeah.
Why not? And it's cool that it was added. Do you think that it has a chance to be up for Best Picture now at the Oscars?
I think it has a chance to be up for Best Picture. I don't
It
think
won't win.
It won't win. But I think it's considering we had, you know, like Avatar, Dark Knight Rises was up there a couple years ago, that they're getting kind of these bigger...
It ended up not being up. Dark Knight Rises.
Someone was up.
The whole thing was they went to 10 in 09 with the assumption that the reason for that was because The Dark Knight was not nominated. And then once they went to 10, it was kind of a joking story to some people who didn't respect the 10 that The Dark Knight Rises didn't even make the cut.
Gotcha.
But there has been other...
There's been bigger,
there's definitely been other stuff.
tentpole kind of blockbustery films put up on there. So I think it very well has a good chance of being up in those nominees. I don't think it'll win, but it's got a chance to at least be nominated.
Cool. I could see it being up for that, and then I could see it being up for a slew of technical awards. I don't think... I've heard some people say, well, could Harrison Ford? No, that's not happening. No way. But we'll find out with that soon. Academy Award nominations are the end of January, the month that we're about to enter. So that's some Star Wars news. Let's quickly move through... Oh, more space. Last week you did the top 5, and there was a lot of space news.
Yeah.
And so that was Star Wars space news. Here's one that I think you'll be as excited about as I am. We're both massive fans of Guardians of the Galaxy. And we got some news of a potential casting for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Apparently Kurt Russell is in negotiations to play the father of Star-Lord. I'm a big fan of Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
He's definitely having a moment right now with Bone Tomahawk. Didn't light up the box office or anything, but it was well respected. You reviewed it, you liked it. In Hateful Eight, you know, big role in the Tarantino movie that's probably going to be up for a lot of stuff, and high profile job for him, and I think Kurt Russell in a lot of ways is like the Chris Pratt of the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, maybe his movies didn't make Jurassic World Guardians numbers, but he had that joking action hero sensibility that Chris Pratt has developed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That'd be really
it almost
cool to see
seems
a movie like that.
It almost seems like the perfect casting. I can't imagine anyone else in my head if he turns it down.
Yeah.
He made some comment about how he actually hasn't seen the first movie, but he's considering it. Go see the first movie, Kurt. I know you watched this, Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
obviously.
You're one of our like 25 people who subscribe. We know you're doing this, so
one of them.
go watch Guardians and take the role.
What I would say
and
if I could say anything to Kurt Russell, I would say you were in Flicka, the horse movie. You could probably be in Guardians.
take Guardians.
Yeah.
And then if you do well in that, you know, thank us.
Yes.
We convinced you. We told you to go do it.
Yep. Also should mention, we were talking about his big moment in 2015. He was in Fast and Furious 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you never saw it.
No, I haven't seen it.
You're not caught up to date on
I'm not caught up in Fast and Furious.
He's pretty cool in that movie. So he's
now I
definitely-
need to go see it.
Right?
Got to see what my boy Kurt's up to. Got to make sure.
Curtis Russell?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Curtis? Alright, so we do have one more space news. I'll move this up. And it's a movie that we were just talking about, Avatar. James Cameron, who works in the Avatar business, if you weren't aware, has given an update on production of Avatar 2, and he is saying it is on track for a December 2017 release. Christmas 2017.
Yay!
A mere 2 years away.
And I think he gave years for 3 and 4, didn't
And
he?
the world shrugs.
Yeah,
I think he was saying like every 2 years.
Collectively, we all just kind of. Is anybody?
You know the hype
interested?
that we just went through with Force Awakens?
Yeah.
I guarantee you there will not be that hype train for this movie. The
Nope.
sequel to the biggest movie currently of all time.
Nope. And it's also coming out the same year as the sequel to
That's
this
true.
year's biggest
Episode 8
movie.
will be that May. So they cleared space for Avatar. I don't know, are you at all excited about this? Not a bit.
I don't care.
Okay.
Like the first one looked good.
I have never felt the need to revisit that movie.
Nope.
I saw it twice in theaters, maybe?
Yeah. I saw it twice. At the first time when I saw it, and then the
part of
second
Best
time
Picture thing.
at the Best Picture showcase.
Yeah.
And that's when I took my nap.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about a trip back to Pandora. I'll be there. The thing is, you know, Avatar, it is what it is. I don't understand the hype that came with that movie, but at the end of the day, James Cameron still is one of our best action directors.
Sure.
And sci-fi directors of our lifetime.
And
so
it's a shame
I hope
that this is what
I hope that he can come out of, make something even better.
He's
hopefully.
established this world, do something interesting with it.
We'll see.
But
It's going to be hard to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Because I almost want this movie to fail, sight unseen, because I don't want him to be... He made a comment, I said the thing in the Avatar business, but for those who don't know, he made a comment a few years back about how he doesn't consider himself in the filmmaking business anymore. He's in the Avatar making business. That's a direct quote, and that's stupid. And basically the question was, what other movies is he going to make? And he basically was saying he doesn't have any plans to make any other kind of movies for the rest of his career. I wouldn't mind Avatar 2 failing, just so we get other movies from this guy.
that's
Something
fair.
more like what he did before Avatar.
The Titanic again.
Sure, Titanic 2. Alright. So Avatar 2 is going to stake the December claim that Star Wars currently holds, even though Star Wars also came out on the exact day 5 years after of Avatar.
Yep.
But one movie that is running away from Star Wars Episode 8 is Sony's upcoming Spider-Man animated film, directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, was slated for release on in June of 2017,
Okay.
and has now been pushed back to December of 2017. So they're running away from Star Wars and figure they're safe with Avatar 2.
I don't think I even realized this was a thing.
It's a real thing. When the whole Spider-Man thing with Marvel was announced, this was part of the announcement that Phil Lord and Chris Miller were directing a Spider-Man animated movie that would not be necessarily canon with the current version of Spider-Man, which is the weird statement about it.
Yeah.
I think it is expected, though, that Tom Holland, the current actor, will be voicing him. So I think they want it to be more comedic, or so, I have no idea. I don't know how.
Because they're also going to do a Spider-Man film.
They're making a Spider-Man movie and a Spider-Man cartoon. And Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who are directing the Han Solo movie, are also directing this. I don't know how they're going to find time to do both. Those seem like two massive undertakings.
Yeah.
But this is happening. It's still happening. It is, but the release date has shifted, which has further shown that it is still happening. Any thoughts on this movie?
Until 2 minutes ago, I didn't even know it was a thing.
This is the thing. Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
I trust them.
They've done good stuff. They've done good animated work. They directed the Lego Movie. And
Yeah,
they directed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I've got total faith in them and what they're gonna do to it. I think this is totally gonna muddle up the messaging and the story and the perception of what's gonna come from the live-action Spider-Man movie and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all of that. And everyone's gonna go, "Well, is this a tie-in? Wait, it's not a tie-in.
What is
Is
this?
this
Yeah.
canon? What's going on? Like, it doesn't make any sense."
It's odd. It's odd to do a live-action film of that character and not just do a cartoon, which they currently have a Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if this is their way of, like, we're still gonna keep doing Spider-Man, but without tying it to the Marvel universe, the cinematic universe, so we can still. But now the Spider-Man movie is Marvel, like, studios seeing any of that profit.
All that, no. That was actually explicitly said. It's a Sony film, and Kevin Feige is going to be a producer on it, the head of Marvel Studios.
Okay.
But it is not in co-production with Disney or at all. Like that. It's just he is.
So he's really the only, like, tie-in.
Yeah. It's confusing. We'll see. I don't know. All right, so we have one more story in our top 5 this week, and that is David Fincher is launching another production with Netflix. Obviously, they have a previous collaboration with House of Cards, which has been very successful for them. A show that I gave up on. I don't know about you.
I've never actually watched it.
Yeah, after I've heard, and I gave up partway through season 2. I heard season 3 really went off the rails. And if you are okay with it being as off the rails as it is, apparently it's still a fun show, but it's still like deathly serious, and so it's just unbelievable. But I love Fincher, and he has teamed with Charlize Theron to bring a project called Mindhunter to Netflix. So it will be a TV series. Fincher is expected to direct at least the pilot, and then Charlize Theron is producing and probably going to star in the show. The talent is impressive.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I like both of them. House of Cards isn't something I'm meaning to catch up on, but
season 1's worth it. I mean, different people will tell you different things, but I've heard some of where it goes, and it just sounds ridiculous.
Gotcha. So. Yeah, I mean, that could be cool. Netflix shows are getting more and more.
Netflix just keeps racking them up.
I mean, for the most part, it's
Fincher
great content.
Fincher recently had 2 series in development at HBO, both of which sounded awesome. One of which had like Rooney Mara in it, and the other had, they both sounded great, and HBO ended up passing on both. Honestly, Fincher seems like somebody that you probably just want to get in business with.
Yeah.
But whatever. HBO's lost, Netflix is gained.
So is this one of those shows, or is...
No.
Okay.
No, separate. Apparently Charlize Theron and him have been trying to get this made for quite some time.
Gotcha.
So, that's this week's news. A little bit light. That's what happens around the holidays.
Yeah.
But still some good stuff in there, especially Kurt Russell. Let's please let that happen. Kurt Russell would be the absolute best.
That would be cool.
Star-Lord Dad. And we don't know what character... I didn't even mention, we don't know what character he's going to play. James Gunn has specifically said Star-Lord's father in the comics is a big character, and it's not going to be the same character. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Sweet. So that is this week's top 5. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean...
What did we miss?
Yeah.
Comment. Tell us what stories we missed. Tell us what stories we should have covered. Tell us what stories you want us to cover.
If this weekend was a bigger weekend than the previous weekend, a big Christmas weekend for Star Wars, go ahead and let us know. I'm sure we'll talk about it next week, but let us know. We're predicting it now.
Or if
but
it somehow makes like no money and it drops 90%, and we look like idiots. Let us know.
Yeah, could happen. Reach out to us. I'm on Twitter at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
Channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official, and you can email us at overabeerofficial@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer. I'd love to give you YouTube URL, but we don't have that. Go ahead and I know Christmas is over, but if you want to give us a late Christmas present or a New Year's present, I don't know if you would do that. I don't know if that's the thing, maybe, I don't know.
It should be a
bring in
thing.
the new year and
It'd be a great way to start a year.
New Year's resolutions.
12/01, you get a gift.
Yeah. Get some resolutions. Oh, I want to subscribe to more YouTube channels. I want to support more YouTube channels.
Yep.
You can do that by sharing this video and subscribing to our channel. Once we hit 100 subscribers, you can go ahead and give you a custom YouTube URL. But until then, we can't do that. So again, if your New Year's resolution is something like that,
Yeah, we're the gift that keeps on giving. So.
But until then, we will see you guys next time.